What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to Spreadsheet. Today I want to share something with you guys that someone else put a lot of work into in order to help people out in Aether Gazer as far as how to build your characters, especially regarding your sigils. There are a lot of characters in here where people are a bit confused on how to build them, what is the most optimal way to build them as far as their sigils are concerned. And by the way, guys, I did end up getting Osiris in a pool yesterday, which is pretty damn cool. But as far as the sigils, guys, this might help you out a lot because there's a spreadsheet that a player put out a good while back, and it actually has the CN characters on the game as well as all the global versions of the characters on the game. So you can figure out what is the optimal sigils to put on your character. And before I show you guys this, just remember that these are just the recommended sigils that you can put on your character in Aether Gazer. You can build your character any way you want, depending on how you're playing your character, whether they're support, main damage dealers, support carries. Whatever the case may be for you really would depend on the sigils that you would actually put on your character. Your main damage dealers will always have, sigils set up strictly for doing more damage, whereas support sigils are going to help your characters stay alive or maybe do more damage, things of that nature, right? So let me go ahead and bring it up for you guys because I think this is going to be pretty helpful for a lot of you out here. Now, I will put a link to this in the description below so you guys can check it out. So as you guys can see, this is pretty straightforward. Remember, this is just a matter of opinion as far as what are the best sigils to put on your characters and whether or not really you should put a functor on them. And what I like about this spreadsheet, man, shout out to this player, is that they actually have, like they're letting you know right away that this, like Tsukiyomi here, really should be used as a main carry, right? If you want to get the most out of the character, you really want to use her as a main carry. And that is for obvious reasons because she is a superstar, well, the strongest character in the game currently right now. But they give you some recommended sigils that you can actually put on your character. And they even show you the slots that you can put on them, right? This is actually the recommended sigils. And if you want, you can even switch them around. But they do say Thunder Rage set is better. And they even show the functors that you can use. So you have your whale team comp where you can use Ryuguri or Janae, right? On your team, or you have more of a free-to-play setup where you can use Bazimbo and Ferdinandi, which is cool because I do plan on doing a video about Ferdinandi. And they even show you guys the ether codes that you should be putting on your character, for what you're trying to achieve for them. And I like that they put these little notes in here, like Mami Tsukiyomi, that's pretty funny, certainly is the highest damage modifier. After changes compared to other round, middle red, codes are very good and much easier to use. Currently the most powerful modifier in the game, not only to single target, but also AoE. When in auto mode, you don't need to worry about survival of your main controlled characters, but the auto modes does not control Tsukiyomi perfectly. So we use the yellow code, Retribution. She's a must pick in any damage check content, perfect or for under leveling. So they also give you an idea what characters you really should pull for, right? And then they say 222 set normal, use Thunder Rage set with Witch's Judgment or Griffin's Pride. And then they even throw out some tips here where, when used third skill 3, quickly use teammates ultimate can be invincible during third skill 3 animation. That's actually very true for Tsukiyomi because whenever you do a third skill, you're wide out in the open. It takes a little bit of time for you to do the strike, and you can take a lot of damage during this thing. So the fact that they're throwing out this tip is really, really helpful. So that's pretty awesome that they did that. And they even had tip 2 for the first skill 3 and second skill 3 can move around a little, which can help hit the boss when it's too close, right? And then you just have all your other builds for the rest of your characters, like Poseidon's, both versions of Poseidon's, which is awesome, guys. You can see they're using the A-rank version of Poseidon as a support. They're using this version of Poseidon as a main carry, and so on and so on and so on. So this might help some of you all out there as far as trying to figure out, what are the best ways to go, right? I mean, if you're going to build this version of Poseidon, then they're recommending to use these sigils on her for single target and AoE. And then they also, of course, throw out that team comp. I really like that they have the team comps in here, and they also have the sigil builds, and they talk about the functors, which is great, along with these tips that they're throwing out. I mean, this is really, really nice. And this is a guy that I refer to because, I don't want to waste a bunch of resources on sigils that might not be optimal for the character. So, like, actually, in my archaic old Vertandi here, I actually went with this build. I will be talking about her in another video, but I actually went with 3 of the rages here and 3 of these sigils because I actually do use her as a support. I don't use her as a main damage dealer because I got her teamed up with Tsukiyomi because they have a team up ultimate skill together, right? So it works out really, really well. But this is a sheet that you all can refer to as far as, maybe trying to build a certain character or getting sigils prepared for a future character that will show up in the game, because they actually have the CN 2.1 characters in here also, which is amazing, guys. So like these characters are going to be coming up later in the future. You can actually see what sigils they actually use on these characters for support, DPS, right? Which is awesome, guys. You have Hera here, you have Linguane here, which is pretty cool. Probably mispronounced her name. My apologies if I did. But this is really, really nice, right? So it kind of prepares you for the future characters, right? I mean, Hades, of course, a lot of people will be looking forward to her. But this just kind of gives you a heads up for future characters that are going to be coming in the game as far as maybe how you'd want to build them. And I'm not even sure if some of these sigils are even in the game yet. If they're not in the game, they will come into the game in the future. But I thought this was pretty damn sweet, right? I really appreciate the effort and work that this player put in to this spreadsheet, because this is one, it looks really, really good. It's easy to understand. I love these tips. I love where they're saying where you really need to use the character, the sigil builds, the team compositions. I mean, this is really, really sweet and makes things very easy for players as far as trying to figure out what they need to do in Aether Gazer for their characters, for their builds, as far as their sigils are concerned, and their Aether codes. I mean, that's really, really sweet, guys. So big shout out to the player for that. Again, the link to that spreadsheet will be in the description below, and I'll probably end up putting in the comments down below. So let me know if this helps any of you out there. And I do stream on Twitch at 9 p.m. GD+7 time. The link in the description below. And I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one. See everybody. Take care.